Welcome everyone to another edition of EDTalks, and I'm with my friend Katja Pischel. Katja, welcome to EDTalks.
Thank you so much for having me, Ed.
This is fun because I'm originally from Germany and you're German and you're in Germany as we're recording, but I'm really jealous because you're in the mountains and I'm not. But that's sort of where we met. We met in the mountains of Vail, Colorado. And we're like, had so much in common. And we're like, yeah, you're writing a book. So I wanted to have you on and talk about this great book that you just published. I think it came out 7 days ago. So we are recording in mid-February of 2025. So it came out so what was the official release date? February?
It was February 10.
10th. So it's awesome. So it's available now. We'll put links in the show notes for how to order it. And after listening to Katja, you'll definitely want to order the book. And it's called And Then Life Happened. So Katja, first introduce yourself and then we'll jump into And Then Life Happened.
Yes. So I'm Katja Pischel, founder of Bridge Builder for Change. And after over 20 years in the tech industry, I started my own business. And today I work with senior female leaders in corporate who want to start their own coaching or consulting business.
Yeah. And you're like, in Europe, you're like a great influencer. And you've got this great brand. And because of all of your background working for companies that everyone would recognize, you are a major executive in those companies. And so you know a lot about brand building and leadership and those sort of things. So again, we'll put some links in the show notes so people can find out even more about you and what you do. But tell us about And Then Life Happened. How did this book come about?
You know, it's so funny because usually when an entrepreneur writes a book, it's usually a very strategic decision, right? And for me, rather than I chose writing the book, that book really chose me. And it did so on a very special day. It was September 10th in 2023, when what was supposed to be a regular checkup at my eye doctor's office turned into a nightmare. I got a very severe diagnosis. And, you know, I'm visually impaired from my birth. So going to eye doctors is nothing special for me. But that was very special because it was just a checkup. And out of the blue, my doctor told me that I was going to need corneal transplantation. And like the very first thought I had was, oh shit, this is going to have a major, major impact on my life and my business. And the second thought was, I have to write a book about this. And the title starts with, And Then Life Happened. I'm not kidding.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. So you got this diagnosis and it's like, oh my gosh, you know, and I think many people can relate to that. They get some sort of diagnosis and it's like, oh my gosh, my life is never going to be this as it was.
Yes.
And a lot of people aren't able to handle that situation well. And it really is detrimental to the rest of their family, their career, but you chose a different path. And again, that's why you did the book. And you not only talk about yourself and your journey, but you also highlighted 7 other women. Tell us about these 7 other women. How did you find them? Did they all have the same sort of diagnosis or are they all different types of stories? Tell us a little bit about these wonderful ladies. Yes.
So, you know, the funny thing is there was another, let's say, information I got when I was in the process of writing the book. It just became clear at some point that this wasn't only about my story, but about the story of other women. And we come from 5 different countries, 3 different continents, and every single one of us has either herself navigated a major health crisis or, you know, was going through it with a person she loves, like her partner or child.
Right.
Yes. And funny enough, all of these women have already been in my like broader network. So I know all of them. All of them are entrepreneurs right now. And their names, honestly, they came to me during a meditation. That's the truth.
That's great.
Yes.
And they were very transparent in sharing their stories to be helpful to other people. And that's sort of the why, right? Tell us about the why behind the book.
You know, the intention really is for myself and all of us who have been sharing our stories to provide inspiration, hope, and very practical tools on how to navigate your own health crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're out there struggling, it's a great resource for people. And while you feature women, because I understand some of the nuances that a woman might experience versus a man, I think also men will benefit greatly from it for a couple of reasons. One, I think the stories still resonate. They did with me. And then the action steps still resonate. Plus, most men, all men have some sort of females in their life, whether it's mom, daughter, wife, partner, and they may go through a crisis at some point. So this helps us as a man understand sort of that female lens into that world when that happens. So that's why I highly recommend the book, not just for women, but also for men as well, for the reasons that we cited. Katja, any other thing that you'd love to share with our audience, around the book and the importance of the book and why they should go out and get that book?
Yeah, and you just framed it so beautifully. In the end, it's a book about resilience and hope.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I feel this is something all of us need very urgently these days.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah, it leaves you with it's like I was just thinking of a drowning person, and you throw out I'm at a loss for words, the ring, the thing that helps save them to float, and because that's what you need. Because for those who haven't had this kind of experience, and I hope you never do, but life happens, and when it does, you need a lifesaver. And I feel like this book is one of those things that you don't need to feel like you're alone, that you're drowning, that there's people that care about you. There's great women in this book who care, who've been through that experience and came through it. And it's all about, yes, that hope and that resilience. So Katja, thank you so much for being our guest on EDTalks. And again, thank you for writing the book and being transparent with your life and trying to help others. I think it's gonna, and probably already has, maybe saved a few lives. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.